This video is sponsored by Skillshare. 2016, it's a year that so many people remember so fondly, and for good reason. We had Captain America Civil War, we had Stranger Things, The Life of Pablo, and even Pokémon Go. I know that game was crazy back in the day, but we could have added something major and big into this list, that being a modern day Power Rangers game that got canceled and never saw the light of day. But why is that? Let's talk about it. Yo, what's up everybody, Este here and welcome back to another video, and today we'll be talking about the canceled Power Rangers video game, the big AAA game that would have blown the masses, blown away the competition, that sadly never came out and us fans never got to play. Now in previous videos I talked about other Power Rangers canceled projects and ideas that never made it got it through the initial planning process, such as the sequel to the 2005 futuristic show Power Rangers SPD, starring 3 of its, I guess, Red Rangers at this point, and a multi-member Sentai adaptation, that being Power Rangers Supernova, that would have adapted Q Ranger. However, in this video I'll be talking about a modern day Power Rangers video game. Now I love video games, and I'm sure you do, and Power Rangers has had plenty of them. From the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers fighting games back in the 90s, to the more recent Power Rangers Battle for the Grid and Legacy Wars, or even the now retro at this point 2007 anniversary game Power Rangers Super Legends. But Power Rangers and the franchise in general has never had an actual game that's been more than simply just a tie-in to a kid's action show. We've never gotten the game that's not played by just Power Ranger fans, but it's played by people around the world. And that game almost happened. And that is all connected to one legendary staff member that has worked for Power Rangers for many years, that being Jason Bischoff, who, if you don't know, was former director of global franchise at Saban and Hasbro and is now working over at Funko. He does a series on Twitter called #PowerDown where he talks about canceled Power Rangers ideas, this being one of them. But before we start, 1,500 likes and I'll make more videos just like this one. There's so many different Power Rangers canceled projects that Jason talks about, and not just that, some that have gone on the internet and just have been lost for years, and I can't wait to talk about them. So let's hit the like goal and I'll do some more. And if this is your first time here, nice to meet you. I'm Este. Be sure to subscribe and ring the notification bell to join the E-Squad today. Only a small percentage of you is subscribed, so subscribe today. I upload Power Ranger videos every single week. I'm sure you don't want to miss them. So with all that being said, let's go take a look at Jason Bischoff's initial Twitter thread talking about Project Nomad. This tweet thread is from August 6th of 2021, and it starts like this. Let's talk about the 2016 AAA Power Rangers game that never was, Project Nomad. Now with a name like Project Nomad, I know it's not an official name or anything, but that name just sounds grand in general. I'm sorry, I'm already excited. As a video game expat, then at Saban, I had hoped to bust dev an ambitious open world co-op that captured the energy, teamwork, and history of the franchise through a fresh lens. Basically, Arkham Rangers or Gotham Knights 5 years before Gotham Knights announcement. Now if you don't know what Gotham Knights is, don't worry, I'll explain it in a second, but that game is kind of important to understand how this Power Rangers game would have been like. Sadly, with so much circulating through the studio at the time, there was no bandwidth or budget to support. What I did have, however, was an invaluable blessing to independently explore, and explore I did. Calling on old friends, we built the pitch we wanted to see. While these looks were never intended to be final, I think it's safe to say we were onto something compelling. Shoutouts to Lineage, Carlos Dattoli, Gerald Singh, and many others who contributed. While early talks with devs and publishers was favorable, ultimately time plus big shifts in our business saw conversations about Project Nomad peter out. These things totally happen. The industry is built on what could have been. For now, simply relish in this amazing art and its kick-ass setup. Eltar, under occupation, being freed by a myriad of rangers from across the cosmos. Lots more to share another time. Happy weekending all. May the power protect you. #PowerDown. Now this Twitter thread blew my mind, and a lot of you have spammed me on Twitter and in the comments to talk about it. But let's look at this thread real quick. The art in it looks alone. The first picture we see the Yellow Ranger with the Zeo Gold Ranger. We see a weird Ninja. We see Goldar with wings flying through the sky. The White Alien Ranger and silhouettes of other Power Rangers in the background. And is that a putty on the bottom right? Looks so. And just through this thread, we see so many initial concept art and pics, like this second one right here. We have this mysterious, evil-looking villain who doesn't even belong in Power Rangers in the first place. He just looks so big and ginormous, fighting the black, red, and blue Rangers themselves. The Yellow Ranger's also seen there too in an epic battle. I would have loved to see the scene played out in an actual game. And throughout this thread, we see a lot of concept art, especially for how the Power Rangers would have looked like in the game. This one specifically takes a look at the original 6 Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and how they would have looked. And to be honest, I feel like fans like you and I would enjoy this look a lot more than, let's say, the 2017 Power Rangers movie, as how it looks more similar to the original 90s design, just a little bit more modern and technological. We'll also see in this thread how the Alien Rangers would have looked, and honestly, it's one of my favorite suits ever. It just looks so sleek and modern, it's the best way to bring them back. We also see how Alpha 5 would have looked, and honestly, he still looks cute and cuddly and chubbly. I just want to squish his little robotic head, just crush it like a crush cup. And then we have this last picture right here where we see a T-Rex Zord out for battle. We see the red Mighty Morphin Ranger and the silver Space Ranger just flying above them. That's crazy. I really feel like this game would have just put the Power Rangers universe all together, have all these Rangers from different times, different representations, or even probably some Sentai teams. You know, screw it. Super Mario Force did it. Let's bring them back in the new game, give them some story. I feel like this game would have been big and ginormous, not just for Power Rangers, but in the video game universe. Honestly, looking at all this concept art really makes me wish that I can learn how to animate and make concept art like they do for the video games. And trust me, E-Squad, I'm sure you do too, and that all could be possible with today's sponsor, Skillshare. If you haven't heard of them, Skillshare is an online learning community with over thousands of different inspiring classes for creators just like you. Now, if you know me, guys, I'm a big supporter of anybody that does art or really just anything creative. And with the classes on Skillshare, you can explore new skills, deepen your passions, and get lost in your own world of creativity. From topics such as illustration to animation and even film and video, I'm sure all of you lifelong learners out there can find a class just for you. Now, recently, I've been checking out YouTube Success, Script, Shoot, and Edit with MKBHD. I'm a big fan of Marquez Brownlee personally. He's been a huge inspiration for the channel, and this Skillshare class really has taught me a lot about the platform. What I love is that he really goes in depth into the whole video making process, such as researching, shooting the video, and even growing your channel after that. And honestly, there's so much in this class that beginners and pros alike can really learn from it. And to be honest, those video lessons and class projects are helping me make videos just like this one. Now, Skillshare is curated specifically for learning, which for all of you means there are no ads at all. And they're also adding new premium classes all the time so you can stay focused and follow your creativity and where your heart takes you. Now, the first 1,000 E-Squad members to click the first link in the description down below can get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare today to start exploring your creativity. So, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and start learning today with Skillshare. Woo! And with that, guys, let's get back to this Power Rangers game real quick, because we have to talk about that Batman game I mentioned earlier called Gotham Knights, which is an upcoming action role-playing game based on the DC Comics character Batman and his supporting cast of heroes. Now, this game's story takes place in Gotham City, which has been on a period of decline after Batman's death. And you can actually play as the Dark Knight's former partners, with each character having their own unique playstyle and abilities. Now, you probably see where I'm getting at here. This Power Rangers game probably would have followed the same model, as there are so many different teams in the Power Rangers universe. The Mighty Morphin team can have a different skill, the Alien Rangers have their own different skill, Zeo Rangers, in space, the list can go on and on. This Gotham Knights game also supports a 2-player co-op mode, where a second player can jump in and out at any time without affecting the first one. And probably just like this upcoming Gotham Knights game, the Power Rangers game probably would have allowed you to upgrade your Power Rangers to get stronger with any time, maybe with those special power-up modes or even battleizers. This Gotham Knights game also have a bat cycle to explore the city, so I'm pretty sure you can just explore the city with a Zord, with your T-Rex Zord, or maybe with one of those shark cycles, or whatever Power Rangers vehicles they may be. To be honest, reading this Gotham Knights story and seeing how the game played out, it would have made perfect sense to make this into a Power Rangers game. But all we really have is just concept art to really just not even reminisce, just think about what could have been. One of the guys that Jason mentions in this tweet thread, Carlos Dattoli, actually also made some additional concept art that he released. Now, some of you may not know who Carlos is, but I'm pretty sure you know about this image, which I see a lot in YouTube thumbnails and just really just across the internet, mostly comparing it to the 2017 Power Rangers movie suits on deadass what could have been. I already showed you guys the MMPR favorites like the core team of 6, Alpha 5, and Goldar, but we also get to see the red and white Alien Rangers, Zeo Gold, and even In Space Silver. We also saw some concepts of the T-Rex Zord 2 and the weapons. Now, honestly, I like what they did with the concept art here. They made Ninjor a lot more humanoid, other than being a chunky plastic ninja man, which was his name in the Sentai. They even did the same with Alpha 5, which even though he kind of already was a humanoid MMPR, they just made him more humanoid-esque. They also made In Space Silver have a lot more silver on him. Literally, In Space Silver is literally shiny. Like, he's literally shining silver. They probably made this suit out of silver in the game too. Zeo Gold actually looks a lot more alien-like in this game. Of course, that makes sense, being Tray of Triforia, an alien species. The shield is actually integrated to the suit a lot better, and it just looks more modern, technological. The same can be said with the rest of the suits. Now, Goldar in this case is a lot more epic and villainy. This form of Goldar just looks so much better than Goldar Maximus. He is literally so scary, and if you thought the 90s Goldar was going to give you nightmares, I'm pretty sure this game was going to give nightmares to a whole new generation. And then of course we have the T-Rex sword, which looks so sleek and so modern. Like the 2017 movie, it just throws it out the park. It's gone. It's a home run. This 2016 movie is the perfect combination of the old and the new, and it just looks amazing. I would have loved to see how the other Zords look, and even see how the Megazord would have been possible. My favorite piece of concept art today was the Alien Ranger suits. They look so sleek and modern and just mwah. Chef's kiss. It's so beautiful. What was your favorite piece of concept art? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, let me know how you would have made your own AAA Power Rangers video game. Would this game have been popular? Would have been game of the year? I don't know. All I know is that this game would have been very important to Power Ranger fans, and it would have changed the game on how we saw Power Rangers in the modern day. Thank you so much for watching this video, and thank you so much for Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Be sure to follow me on Twitter, DDonFuego. I'm also on Instagram, Not Don Fuego. Have a great day, and of course, and as always, stay awesome, everybody.